Okay, first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for coming this morning and having this conversation with us. We really appreciate it.
Ekinabu and the grass melomasis ke ina damena kalamina sifanike mekmilumas and the grasses.
My first question is, what are your hopes, dreams, wishes for your children here in the United States?
Ekin kogelango abria ekanta mekamelomina le metat gomena esi amni dea ikaulinoski ishma wenyo dianga amni dea ikaulimenoske.
Ragangala baya tinu malomo abu nuskole na lusha kokusaski lagina kofle na ula ko amen de skole itte ko sha kofle ni masi amen lagina le makomo usko lusha kusas lush ki taka lush ki gotu lush wa ko shimano oksaski lush ko sha ki amen masini ko makofle mo wa ko anki lagu wa lusha ko sunano akse.
Yeah, she said the reason why they brought him here is that they struggle a lot back home, and their hope is that they will be educated, and so they don't have to struggle as much as their parents. They'll be able to get better jobs. They'll be able to support their families and themselves better. So that's why that's their hope for their kids.
Can you tell me how old your kids are here and what schools they go to?
Eke abria galiekal ide escola ekal kushina subject.
Akke de kusmina nakasadago.
I have 5 kids.
Ako ekna de doa galleshi barsat kinike.
My first son is 23.
Ako taluya college ki makke galle kusmisi.
So this Saturday, he finished college for a bachelor's degree.
That's
He's been in college
amazing.
for 5 years.
Which college?
College, you can kick him in this.
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn,
SDSU.
Yes.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
a big day.
Amar moa Michele gi di Michele de unu college ko se gallella si gallella kinke.
So the second one is in.
Se bare wasu nalle terreno.
He's 20 years old, and then he finished his first year in college.
Amar moa nuna basketball bilo kalko se lubab muna lakin galle Shinas kontrabar kinikuno.
Yeah, and
High school local kose.
she has another one who's in high school, and he plays basketball. So
At which high school?
Washington.
Washington.
Yeah.
Elwaga fatna kisha nonu galle Shinas kusum kinikuno high school local kose.
Yeah, and fourth is a girl. She's 16. Shina kontalele.
Kusum.
Shina 15.
At Washington
At
also?
Washington.
Oh, I'm galle kontrabar pero nunu kantar kose.
The youngest one is 7, so he's still in elementary.
Elementary. At
Yes. In Kalyan
which school?
And Sullivan.
And
Sullivan. Yep.
Love that.
Yes.
How about you two?
And my Mick.
Ya bakida na isfan daimuna alle Sioux Falls la mumkin galle shibnas baro anake shibnas baro anakalla abya dede ainake dede kontalle kish satta ainake ubi lakin damado.
Yeah. He said my name's Faye Ande, and he's been living in Sioux Falls for about 12 years. So throughout living in Sioux Falls for the past 12 years, he has 6 kids, 3 girls and 3 daughters. 3 daughters and 3 sons. Yes.
Wena kokila kasat ganar shamkshaya I see no alla abria alle ekke kandiasi kuria ishama fanikia kalshana stame mosmolde no marsha mshaya tati usama na udama kwa lokan amin nalle moloma amulanga siabanga akesi akke lagasaswa nkalingan goswisa wena linganki taka buna shwa buna ganki agaria sina lagia sina wena laga aningan gosmolle koto ki laga te kolga mun he masa potasi niatan audur medanga oinada.
So to answer the question, as the previous lady said, their main purpose of bringing their kids is to grow in knowledge and to be educated. And the world is changing, so they don't want their kids to be left behind. And even though they have challenges back home and they cannot grow in that environment, they're trying to find more opportunities for them to grow. So these are the better opportunities. There's better opportunities for them to grow and catch up with where the world is going. So that's their hope for their children is that they'll be able to fit into the world, but also be able to be more educated and be able to be supported.
That's beautiful.
Wana wadala priya ako ayatile lagang hante makamalo lagangwa kuman kuina niata maine ke furdanga bonge muna ngilanga bonge muna niata maine komke wana pos natile lawitanga yang kayanga ando enking elasi ngeli lang sumka unu na biskot kenga me furdi lang sumana biskot kenga me wana bu ngeli gonge munda da furdi gonge munda da oskollo le shamshana oton da laga imiro tagamuna detta adbanga bar ko kaki ko ya lao ko go sham wagal kulutana niyata mainama wana sapata tia tagum goddanki maid mak koshana akke maid kulutana alle makamalo.
Yeah, and on top of that, one of their main just desires to still honor their culture and honor the country that they're from. They don't, as parents, he said he doesn't want them to lose their culture and their identity, because if you lose your language, if you lose your identity, you're somebody that doesn't know your roots. So they still want them to catch up with the world in terms of growing in their education, but not to lose the sight of where they come from or even get lost in the world.
That's exactly what we all want, right? That's a perfect lead into my next question, because not everybody in Sioux Falls knows where your roots are. So Eritrea is a tiny country in Africa. Can you tell me a little bit, whatever you're comfortable sharing, about the history of what brought the Kunama people from Eritrea to Sioux Falls, South Dakota?
Tamabri wena melabu nuda moa kada akwae ngelia langmung hemame ide kuda bria ashno wena su kantolo moa langmung hemame nuwa kukala inna sifos la meloma matakidita tranquimi kadabu salam meshaki kadabu inna sukena temelo besha agarbu yan sifos lokushma itikimina message setra suka tama de suk dam dik sham saptasi ki wena kukelo alebria tranquimi kadam melo kunamo ay kadam salam meshaki nas melo beshwana ngabtamik she mefal kaswanaske link shan nishon be be aludin kana be
Sure.
yeah
ya nitken kala wena selle kona afrika ingdo artia dai shadi namme bu bianki kuna ingdo ame wakshim manking godibu bimaso ka wena chama masa goddo ka chamsa putasi kuna manga garosi anda kuras ka kaski even no daga ngal kusima ngelo ten songo manu asi show manu ma ello maso sababu dia wana bu kosasa mai namme oino fash mai namme galang galata galebar mai gonya galasata masyo ku mishamlaj ya bayana na delushitana afita tiklede ititana shuk bala even bad ka jublo ka kosa bado ka nyana shik bala hirat ka hakima ashe hakim lush mai namma sabba ko na ulad ka mai nam sabtasi inna ulwae amesi kurat ka aksino tamma bakatra uliana ma sabba mashamaloki kunama refugee ki namme ni min dekna si oino diala suki sakazga ki namme min dekna si komi mudasada inna ka shino wal shimsha ma sabba abu mashamaloki anin ganasi imal shop
So, as we know, Eritrea is on the east side of Africa, and the east side of Africa, where Eritrea and Ethiopia are, there's always war and there's always conflict in that country. So, the Kunama people, he said that even since he was born, all he's ever heard of is being in a war. And so the Kunama people have suffered so much in terms of just being in the war and being close to war zones. So they never had access to good education. They never had access to just healthcare and just opportunity to grow. And when there's wars happening, they would go to the forest where they'd be hungry, where they would drink like random water, and they'll get sick and they will die too. So there's never opportunity to even just to even level up with the other ethnic groups, because Kunama people are just suffering a lot. So that's what caused the Kunama people to just move out of the country that they love, because they love their country, and then we Kunama people they never left their home country, but due to the war and being just so much to bear, they had to find another place, and so that's why they went to the refugee camp, and that's the first time that Kunama people have been refugees, and that's what brought us to Sioux Falls and trying to resettle and build a better life.
Right. So to be a little more clear, the war between Ethiopia and Eritrea, and the Kunama people live on the border between the two countries.
Yeah.
So always in the middle of the conflict.
Abri Kunama when border anda when Eritrea te Ethiopia te ro alle gomma ko shano maso akubichi gomala Kunama ay sanda kiting Greek class.
Yeah, kega bria wina Ethiopia te Eritrea te bari access goes agarana lu Kunama. Naona bu abayo akshamshana oko mallana hitengno Kunama hitenga. Nana abat gan kismal shamshana na lep kishasu Kunama lep kishasu. Wena bu Kunama godibu biya haida. Idowene kidoka bu Kunama isi barela magan kanoloke. Elle Ethiopia kose elle Eritrea kose. Wena bu elle likna shamshana ina bile Kunama ina bile makana sina dorodo kose. Wana bu nebu damani nebu oino dangala anda kurat kaksike tamma lakin amana bu amesi mina maidel kimi kaso ma annoa inda baktena kaso ki atmaloki akke kaso sina amena habe demaitena sina bakat komi kaso inna amerika kumtena sabab wala maloki akke skolo koitke tamtatin kuna makalo kanno aksase kun oskola land fadabe kunami asangir anda alile sana nishmatum tetshako nina lakin oen bakata ko item sabtasi kolla jaksase university silangos bu university aksase kelda bu ella bartan nikilana college mayna inner college al kullu ko sasa ke mayna mo inna baktin kande aksum sabtasi godamu beshno shugan ke mola aja ikit mashado adita usko los ser ki maksasa na bakta ko smela ko usko lal ni kano ya bal hoda sport ni kano na aja li kano wala sunja and fatabe lakin bakta ma itena si kosa kose ka kailo datu duma ko masaptas den si kande mo.
Yes, the Kunama people do live in the border between Eritrea and Ethiopia, so every time there's war, while the enemy comes, they're gonna find the Kunama people on the border, and even if the Eritrean army wants to go to fight the enemies, they're gonna come through the Kunama people, and they're gonna recruit them as their soldiers. So the Kunama people just never get rest, and also there's a division where some Kunama people are Ethiopian, some Kunama people are Eritrean. So there's a lot of points where Kunama people will be killing each other in the war. So that's just brought us so much down, and it just prevented us to grow as humans. So that's why we struggle a lot. And we're just at this point, we're grateful that some of us have gotten the opportunity to come here, and we're thankful to God, and we're thankful to the U.S. government for giving us the opportunity to come here, because now we can say our kids have an opportunity to grow in their education. The Kunama people are very smart. They can get knowledge easily, and our kids are really smart, and they can be good in sports and education, but they don't, because the parents have gone through all these challenges, and they never see their parents finishing college or anything. So right now, that's why we don't have a lot of kids in universities, and we can count them little bit by little, but we want more kids to go to university, finish college, but we're grateful for the opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my next question
Can I add
now.
on that a little bit?
Oh,
Sure.
yeah,
Can
go
I add
ahead.
on top of that? Because sometimes I cannot say we have much degrees, but from my experience back home, I was a teacher. Now, it's hard sometimes to give a value to the school, because when I came, my first job is in production. So wherever they go in offices, they never see from their one of their community member doing professional jobs. So sometimes it affects that one to our kids, that they have to see from their own people that they can do it.
Yes.
So that can give them hope for them to really pay attention, and to have a dream or
Yes.
to work hard.
Yes.
And then, as we mentioned, most of us, we don't have a background of education. We have lack of supporting our kids to lead them what's their passion, and then how we can support them. Imagine when we say as a community, we have a lot in our shoulder. We have people back home that they really need our support. When I say support, is just for daily basic
Yes.
thing to bring food for their table. So that's our responsibility. We know how they suffer. One day we were there. So it's not only, our responsibility is not only in our family. Our responsibility is in our community, in our kids, in our sibling, everywhere. So we are overwhelmed. And as we mentioned earlier, we really want them to have their, to keep their culture, and they know where they came from, and then to succeed. Sometimes we overload them, our kids too. And then when they go to school, they have event. Some parents, they have that time to attend with them, to support them. But most of our kids, you don't see them, parents go there to support them. It's not because they don't want it, but they don't have time for it.
Yes.
We work different shifts to bring something to our kids.
Yes.
So that's, for this generation, it's really tough for us. We really want them to succeed, but you can see a big gap. And the big population of Kunama is in the United States, the bigger Kunama people in Sioux Falls, the first one. So as a parent, sometimes you want to go and then say something. You want to share your experience. You want to know the school system is not the same as well. So wherever you want to go, you need somebody can translate for you, interpret for you. I guess from your side too, you struggle to communicate with the parents. So this is where the gap is. And then if we can have people from the same community, might be a little bit
Helpful.
Yeah.
You two have helped us out many times.
Absolutely.
Yes, we appreciate that always. You said something that made me think of my next question, that sometimes things are just different between what you knew before and how it is here. And it's almost impossible to prepare for that before you come. So I want you to just talk a little bit about culturally, what are some things that are similar to U.S. culture, and what are some things that are different between Kunama and American culture? And he can ask too.
Tamanas gosse kokelo alle tamabria no mala otankin lawanki no nette alle no malatte dato yangade skola dabano apkishano enok fara mo angade da ko kale ay ni nitno America te abri sukingete ida ngad misha mne kede kaya no doa
Korea America komite to ida kanga oni yodate angad misha no IC alle sekolah tamana kushano o mina ngata tamana kushano ite tanga kushano nale anda batal shaku sama sabtasi tagang oni yodate magasa sa o America oni yodate angad shaku sama sabtasi nade ya mai to ato IC hotta si masana ki shoto mai ta maina me masana ki heda mo maina me kusasa ki kusasa apuko ko toshishi maina mo aksha ko sama sabtasi mai diwa na
So he said that the main thing that's different is in America is it's more developed. So even in terms of education, finding a job, so the economy is just much better. So that's the good thing. But back home, it's just whenever, even if they go to work, they don't get paid that much, and they can just spend money whenever they want, and they will have just hard time surviving. So it's better here. That's the main, the main thing, the main difference.
Can I add a little bit on that? When it comes to the school, here, I think more, if they have a lot of good programs, but if to participate in that program, the parents need to sign up so they can participate. Back home, it's worthy and it's helpful for them, so they can just, teachers can make this decision for that, so they can attend easily. And then I think more communication with the parents, because you know them, and it's more comfortable even to share and then discuss about that kid and then what's helpful. But here, it's different. Now, when I communicate with you and when I communicate with my community is different, because the experience, the culture that we share, and then the topic that we bring in, there is a big gap. So that's why there is more miscommunication. That it's not because we don't need it, because we don't know each other well. You get my point?
I do.
Yeah. So that makes it a little different. And then the curriculum is way different than back home and here.
You have anything else to add, Moses?
Olle abriya oskolla len oskolla kando kosodo lebnu wal sumshan angalar koske alle aksa so esi abriya lagena fane shama sabta si lagena fane da bagono no masa dittiabu lagingal koski namate sawon molle akusasa asasiyasi ingan kinna artab kailona aksasa kailona abriya fayasuna asas fayasuna itik shona amana barta ashashas asasos fayas shona lakin alle wayna kosgos me ascolta kandole no warsam kshaya wana bu inna uliana absi angar kshaka sono nantigo nake ascolta le no warsam ksha ascolta koko shama aksasel koko sham dato e alle kosibe ya kultim koske kakita udmale bria koko shambu bia aksasella itena skola iten data bubi koske lakin na fod ko leki dimal samukshaya aksasosi amano ka wena koko sham kallo kandidibe asi kimi adbingot ikad boy ta angar shama saptas delabo ime ashashiyo takwa ko inike fane dash besmait kotakke kosodash besmait kotakke lakin ashashingo au ashashitalle otang maluma takwa dogola mainike kosoda udmala kanda information udmala mainamme abrina fodi kwa matkemo asabata si artikan munni tatno da mindno ashashiyo moskola kota kola masabta si kosi asasiyo konki okulu dan ki mainiona inna kemni ki inda dina lakin amelo mal samsha wen takwa udmal maina masabta si inna kemni mana maloki ulang ko fulo ka kotti ka raw dedo kasi masaleno ana afiti nga bukan dimana shama loki ona shama ki aksesi ascolta alna kamanda dina bakta ko sima inna nanti gon kota.
So he's talking about how different education is different back home. So in education back home, the students respect the teachers more than their parents. So the teachers just have a lot of influence on the kids. So whenever they ask them to do something, whether it's their assignment or anything, they just do it. But now here he said that the difference that he's seeing is that it's not the same, you know.
Yes.
They don't enforce kids to respect teachers that much, and now it's up to the parents to support the kids. And when it comes to the parents of, you know, even if it's Kunama or just in our parents, that we don't have what it takes to support the children. So we don't have the knowledge of how education system works in the United States because we've never been through it. And whenever we go home to our children after work, they get tired. He said that, you know, they're not able to help support them. But if it's a parent that grew up here, knows the education system, they're able to tell their children that you can do this, or they can just support them in the homework, or even if they've gone to college, they can teach them about the college process, so it's just easier for them. But when it comes to Kunama parents, we don't have all of that, so we just worry about giving them, putting food on the table, taking care of their health, so we don't have what it takes, and we don't utilize education to help support our children.
That would be confusing if you're used to teachers having influence over the children, and here teachers call you for help. Yeah, that is.
And to make it clear, now all the students have to have 1 inch their hairs supposed to be. All the students respect that rule.
At home.
They wear the uniform.
Yeah,
They
but-
have to respect for all the kids, even in specific things. Here they have more option. And the second thing, when it comes to parents, they speak English more than their parents. And then when it comes to high school kids, they know your bank statement. They know your health issue because they are the one interpreting for you. So when you go through something, sometimes as a parent, you don't want to tell your kids that you're going that tough time.
Right.
But sometimes they technically became parents instead of being teenager or being in the school. So they know all the thing that was going on through their home, or everything is happening in their family. They are responsible. So sometimes it's very hard for the kids too. And then when you come to correct them, you're giving all the information. So how come for you they can listen at that stage, because they know everything about you.
A little bit of a change of power.
Yes, changing powers, because they can speak wherever you want to go there. And then you need his help
Language is power.
or their help. So it's really tough situation when you come to this.
And a lot of adults
Yeah.
adulting in their teenagers too.
Yes.
Yes, that's a lot different.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Anybody else want to share?
Yeah.
I see. School masa menolak mua kusaki ku aku saki. Ame sini kakak orang nasi. Masa menolak kesedekena. Abar maki oliki oksas gomwa le. Mai dambe ba masha oksas gomwa koske. Oksas kokosi. MSc ba koda na kushina. MNK ba gamma kushina. MSc ba gamma wai ba koda ma kopala. MSc kodo marsha. Amet kodo manana. Kodo gombe mai do gamma misha. Emerele baal kontina emerele baal tare gamma le mitke marsha amesi kshan miteki mukelki ekena ke kudu kusada ko emelana kudu kambe kudu mukelamu dedo esi bobinga da tekker kamenki maido attakatu mu okusasiki amesi kani bishina sin asaki as ko bishina si nale school ito lena kandoa ko shimeno nale taga makain ko mahina na ke ko school.
There is a very big miscommunication through the parents and kids. For example, when they misbehave at school, they might know what they do, but when they came home, they will never tell us that they did something bad. So when we don't know, it's hard to fix that problem. So when they in the school, when they behave or when they do something wrong, you have to communicate with us, and then instead of sending letter, so they the one opening the letter, they will read it for us, and then for sure they will never interpret the right thing. So make sure you guys reaching out with the right interpreter, and then so we can communicate to fix it when it. Sometimes we found out when the problem goes worse.
Yeah. One time I had a student telling his parents that he was winning an award when it was
Yes.
a letter to inform him he was not winning an award.
Absolutely.
You talked about this a little bit, but what other, if there are any, if you want to add any difficulties, have you seen students and families face in school? So I hear communication is difficult. I hear the work shifts is difficult. Anything else that you really feel like you'd like to add?
Abrita ma artia agari ala kontigus ma taga marta kusa sita shashit ko inu kontigus ma taga marta ikosus ba me ma ascolta matkendara.
Ay kano asasho yala kontu ko suma kala dede amre kala sina si kontu bare kala sina kon sabte kala sina suma ko dede bu biya abre oti kasum abre oti kasum asobo abre usko litolle kaya lang ko tingri ma be usko lito ki mai ki kitim sa se ma besha oti kasum wa usko suma sa ta sina shashe bu biya usko suma sha suma sa ta si ikidim fesi ikan ki fesi ko ko ting shaki oti kasum wa shom ki mat kem ma sha suma sa
Communication.
Yeah, communication is a big problem in our community, because once they turn 17, it's just worse that we cannot communicate and then solve problems. So sometimes we don't know how to parenting at that age.
Yeah. Communicating with all 16 and 17-year-olds can be hard, especially if there's a language difference too. So my next question is, we talked about the difficulties, but what are some things that the community or the school system has done that has been helpful for the Kunama people learning the new U.S. system?
Kunama la abria kandea skol tam na foski kam tabile ke mesi kendari mai kosus ba aishi kendari na ko mai
abre ay kano o ko sa ke liye olo mar sha tam ko kala si ame tatelan mat kemme balle malo matur wali mek malik sano ko amasan ko mar mak malo ki jabi masu maran masu wana makfuru mawe mar masu ke war matak lakin alle malo appo ay ko sa sama khamshaya atadren nay ko sa sama mde olo susala kan ki ko sa umi una ula ina ko saki arata da gonki osona ki uriya ko fuki amesin ka runa si amani danga inna mde inna ko ka sobu gogo mana se dia ame imi ke makuta mo asa sko de makuta mo.
Yeah, so he said that their main concern or even just things that they desire for their children is that, the first thing is for them to learn and succeed, so they will get a good job in the future and then be able to support their parents and family, and they just want to see them succeed. And even when we look here, these three guys that they've learned, so they're able to help and learn to do these things, and that's what they want them to see. and so the school system is giving them opportunity to just get there, but it's just how we can work together and then help support them along the way.
Olle abnat fena ko si mal samuksha. Ascolta mina mai di mingo spet mal samuksha ya. Fasha mina mai du mal kimingo ke de darte scola brina fonko kam de do ay ini ni esin takam kishoma bu ame sina fos kaso na mo de do ay I mai dar kolim de udma lo koske allo kishamal samuksha na state angadala sheka kusasa hirabu nurse ko same koske doctor angar ko same koske bin pilot ira talingan ko ma tabile koske wana bu mina mai do ko si bin wala misha e poske wana bu oin mina mai do attile artas konti mal samsha kuna manga agar walle mai da konti niato mai nike wana badda si ascoltan king داتلنا كلانه أبري أبنا كلاويت اللي كلا بنودانا إنه مرسم شاش مالانا كود كي أقصى نوعه كل جا قادوا شولد كايلوانا ودمالا كوس كايش سلاسي شولدوا إنك ما كوجي بيمانغنو شاشان إنك كاندوانا كلا أتكلم سبتاسي إن اللينا أكذا توتيكت كوسيا سكول توسي دعارات دار كوسي مرسم توتيكت كوسي مرسم شان فاشان نان هنا كبريان.
Yeah, so there's a lot of good things that the school district is doing in terms of just supporting kids, and so they're grateful for everything that the school district is doing. And even in Kunama people, there's people, even if it's in Sioux Falls, there's people that graduated colleges, and even if it's outside the state, there's some people that became nurses, that became pilots. So even though it's not too much of a success, we're still seeing some of the success, and we want to see more of that. And so as long as the school district is doing that, we'll get there. But he said one thing that I want to ask the school district to consider to support more is just supporting kids to go to college. So when it comes to college, the parents, he said that, you know, they fear college is too much money, and the students fear that college is too much money, and that's why they don't want to go to college, or they don't want to send their kids to college. So how can the school district support in those ways and help educate the students or the parents to support them to go to college?
That's great.
Olle badda natfena kusi balshamsha nabu biaka shino tanki koma sabtasi atke oksibe ngelang olle skol lokomal kolome oksibe ashik university hirat kusan kolome aksase maina ke master bu fanak geras kisasa me agare maina ke ne tama inkallen walsam shawena au production ala au sana akan dokel kusan konke tama inna kena inna ulan koshaki oino dilusha kan dumuna sawo gariosi totge muna si hem malana bakata koitu gosumma tabilu dma koske lakin nikena ile wa gona lol koske sa akumta skodatina mastres kindadina agarango si mash fash kodade agarangana dato takaki ito aningasun bakata kosina lakin nen bakatu maido koitka wa lushel kolina si bria oskol takaw ka dit katakan ko gosh kina ma sabtasi ka mat ke mabu bakatene dong gom ke ne bu tagmar karte mai tum kada kisa.
Yeah. So he said that another thing to add in terms of college or in terms of supporting the Kunama people is that there's a lot of smart Kunama people here, and they finish college degrees back home or universities. They used to be teachers. They used to be some people that would work in government too. But when they come here, they work in production. And first, when they work in production, they don't know who to reach out to get them to have more opportunities, or they don't know where to go to maybe continue their education to be able to have a job, have a better job other than production. And he said that when they get out of production and even maybe work for the school district or work in some other better jobs, they're able to support the school district to help support them in their education, but also support the Kunama community too. So that would go the same way in the government or whatever they choose to work. And so how can we support those people who have more education back home, but they're not using it here?
Yeah. That's something I see a lot. Highly educated people working in production. Yes, always. Anything else? Any other advice for us to help support Kunama people? Those were two really great ones. Last thoughts or words?
So I can add.
Yes.
So for me, I came here when I was 15 and I went to high school here. So a lot of the challenges, my only challenge would have been just more of a language barrier. And so I would have a different experience because I'm not a parent, so I just try to support students just because of my experience. But you talk about what are similarities here in the education system and what are the challenges or differences. And as humans and as people trying to succeed and get a better life, and as humans, I would say we all want the same things. We all want just a better life where we can feel comfortable sharing our ideas, sharing our culture, sharing our identity, and we want our kids to succeed and have the opportunity. So at that level, we're all the same. And even if you come to the education system, you know, we're all trying to support kids. And as parents, we're all trying to support kids. And as for me, I've been supported by my parents, I've been supported by the school district, so I'm able to at least in some ways give back. So my only thing is, while we're all on the same mission, how are we not connecting? And this is a great opportunity for us to share ourselves and our challenges, but how can we create more opportunities like this? And as he mentioned, you know, like it comes down to a lack of knowledge in terms of not knowing a person that could help you, not knowing a resource that could help you. So how can the school district kind of come together, kind of lean into people who are leading that community? And Tesfaye is really a good community leader in church and in everywhere. So having opportunity is not even for me, but for Aluda and for everybody, and to get to know them, because me and Aluda are everywhere, so a lot of people would know us, but there's a lot of people that could do the same work, but they're not being connected, so we end up being the one that you guys could reach out to. But we would want to connect you guys to more people, and we know a lot of people that could help you guys, so we just want you guys to, even if it's a school district or even more community members, just to lean in and to understand. So we're all in the same mission, but we should be more understanding of each other's challenges so we can support each other.
Yes. Yes.
To add on that, most our community are, when you want to make a meeting or any event, Saturday or Sunday.
Yep.
Mostly when you want to do in a weekdays, it's not going to happen. It's really tough. So there are people, they do a lot of stuff for the community, but like we said, not knowing who to reach out, who to ask for help so they can support, to consider and to help them. And then one thing that you see in a community a lot is your kid is missing school, and then you're not knowing until 15 days, or it's a lot of days. So when you guys have in the school district, the person that can reach out to the family members, or they can let them know that your kid is missing the school, they know right there, so they can have communication with their kids. That is a big help for our community and for the school. And the other thing is, as a parent, when you go to conference, you want to see
your culture, you want to feel like you are in your home.
Yeah.
So when that's my, I think as a parent, the thing that I want to see is to consider all the cultures, even I don't know
In
if
the
they have a show day for the different cultures day, so
Yeah.
we can participate. Sometimes when we are participating in this event or any occasions, can lead us to know each other more better.
Yes.
And then we can communicate, and then doing good things for this communities or growth for the future. So that's one thing that I really recommend for the school, to just to support our community and stuff.
I would say everything you said today was just spot on and beautiful. I have the pleasure of, well, I know you too, and knowing many other Kunama community members who I consider family in many ways. I know Kunama people to be warm and welcoming, and I have felt that this morning too. So I appreciate all of you coming to share. I think I know how to say thank you in 2 ways in Kunama. And I'll tell the right way first, right, Aluda? Anameso,
Yes.
did I say it right?
Yes.
Or as the kids say, grace. Did I get it right?
Yes.
Thank
that's
you
right.
so much for
you so
sharing
much.
this morning.
Thank you for
Yeah.
this opportunity.
Yeah.
Ana bakatena kasomasi na kandanga na mafali na si bakatena working kasomasi grace lakin kumal dala aurok mitik mi meki sanar kete ketuputa no hena company.
Yeah.
He said, thank you so much for this great opportunity. And then one thing I want to remind you guys is just don't listen and then leave it as it is. And then
Put it to action.
put it in
Put it
action.
into action. Well, we'll
Yeah.
share it with everybody.
Yeah.
Do our best.